The world is currently facing the largest international refugee crisis since the Second World War. According to the Refugee Council of Australia, in 2017 there are currently 22.5 million refugees worldwide, with more than half originating from the Syrian Arab Republic, Afghanistan and South Sudan. Australia continues to resettle refugees from around the world. These refugees may have faced trauma, political persecution, or civil unrest in their home country. We all want to live harmoniously here in Australia together. Given the difficulties refugees have faced, we need to be mindful of applying best practice principles of cross-cultural communication. This video will provide you with an overview of cross-cultural communication theory and the experiences of 8 different refugees and practitioners.
Cross-cultural communication is the way that people of different cultures communicate with each other and how they interpret meaning. Communication can involve both verbal and non-verbal cues, such as body language and social etiquette. Our focus is on interactions between refugees and local Australians. Researchers in this space agree that social connections, interactions within the local community, and the ability to communicate effectively are all vital parts of the refugee resettlement experience. However, many refugees arriving in Australia come from backgrounds where English is not their first language, which can be a barrier to daily interactions and developing social connections. Let's hear from some of our interviewees about how their experiences have shaped their views of cross-cultural communication.
Communication means to me is someone to be able to integrate to other communities from different background. If you are able to explain yourself and to understand your environment, and exchange information between others and other community or maybe other group or someone else.
For me, it's more than just mere words. I think it's about understanding. It's about empathy. It's about connecting with the other person. It's about being present.
I guess it's just a two-way connection between 2 or more people, really.
Apart from delivering messages, another key of successful cross-cultural communication is the ability to listen. Besides spoken language, cultural values and non-verbal cues are also significant when communicating with people from different cultural backgrounds. Each culture has distinct values and sets of understandings to what it means to be good listeners. According to Shen and Starosta, we all have our own worldviews. If we become locked in those worldviews, it becomes difficult to listen to someone from another culture. Therefore, it is necessary to be open-minded and aware of such differences. The role of listening in communication events between and among people of different cultures facilitates a two-way communication in cross-cultural aspects. Be present, observe, listen, then speak.
I think my advice will be listen. I think organizations don't listen too much. They just have this program that is set for people that they don't have any idea how they've lived their life. Yeah. It's really one of the advice that when we listen to people, we get so much more than what they're even saying. So that is something that
it almost, when I start talking, I'm stereotyped. It's almost that without any understanding of who I am as a person, what I can do as a professional, for example, now, that I'm branded as a refugee kid.
Both refugees and non-refugees highlighted the need for a human connection based on respect, inclusiveness and equality. Those interviewed emphasised the need to interact with a newly arrived person as a human being rather than as a refugee.
What refugees are often looking for is just a human connection with someone who lives locally in this country that transcends the fact that they're a refugee. So right from the start, with One Step, what we were trying to do was have it be an equal connection between 2 human beings, who are both interesting people and will have things to say, not about an unequal power dynamic where here's a refugee and then here's someone helping the refugee. We very much wanted to emphasise right from the start that both parties will get something out of the conversation and that it should be an equal connection.
It would be to include them and give them their voice. Inclusiveness is important in all aspects of our society, particularly when it comes to people who are from minority backgrounds.
To respect the people's, I don't know if I can say it's the right word, history. Most of them experienced war, but they might have a really good job and good house, and they lost everything. So it's really important to maybe protect the people's pride.
Communication between refugees and local Australians should ideally involve sharing about each other's culture and building mutual understanding. This helps to contribute to refugees' sense of self-esteem and security. Our research and interviews supported the notion that cross-cultural communication between refugees and local Australians should involve finding commonality and forging a bond based on shared interests such as family, food and sport.
Yes, I was involved with a community service called Canterbury Youth Service when I just moved to Australia. I'm not sure if it exists anymore. It was very, very good because what they do, they gather a lot of migrants together and do different activities, horse riding and going outing. And it was not just, it was nice because then he made me, I didn't know what migrant meant. So it made me to realize that, I'm not the only migrant in Australia because there was so many culture and so many different people, and it makes you relax a little bit. So that they were really good. I still have relationship with them.
I wanted to meet new people and feel that I'm giving back to the city. Because in a short time I got a lot. Plus my previous work was in humanitarian aid and development, and obviously I can't do it here because, thank God, no need for that. So I feel like I have to give back to the city.
I also think opening up about myself and telling things about my life and my family, the students always find that interesting. And I think when you open up to the students feel like they can engage with you more and they can understand your life a little bit more, which makes them a little bit more comfortable opening up with you. Because it's not like you're telling a stranger this, you're telling someone who is your friend, who you do know about this kind of information. It also, I think some of the students are just genuinely interested to learn about my life as an Australian person and some of our weird cultural quirks. And I think, telling anecdotes about myself and allowing them to ask questions about me helps to kind of build a bridge between us so we're not so distant.
In this video, we have explored cross-cultural communication between refugees and local Australians. Cross-cultural communication is a two-way process of interaction between two or more people who identify with different cultures. Communication is fluid and dynamic, and can involve written or spoken language, body language, and social etiquette. The way we interpret the meaning of these interactions is influenced by our own identity and experiences. Any person can identify with many different cultures. Culture includes the standards for the way we think, feel, and act. It is also fluid and dynamic, being created and recreated through each of our interactions.